All right. Finally, Jack Sarfatti acknowledges the non-commutativity model of reality. I corresponded with him for I don't know a dozen emails at least, and he just started saying, well, I'd ask him a question and he would just say, well, talk to your teacher, which he meant my quantum mechanics professor that was a fellow graduate student with Jack Sarfatti at San Diego University. I don't know, it's like University of California, San Diego, and in the 60s. And then I had uploaded a paper to academia, and then Jack left some. Oh, I uploaded my master's thesis, and Jack was just dismissing it with some sarcastic comments, but then Tim Ventura interviewed Pavel, this Finnish scientist who's worked with Basil J. Hiley. I think he's like a neuroscientist, and I can't pronounce his last name. It's Finnish, so it's like I won't even try. But I had just uploaded that video about the paper that Basil J. Hiley co-wrote with Pavel on whether quantum mechanics solves a hard problem in consciousness, and which is sort of like the mind matter disconnect between the brain and quality of the mind. What is consciousness? And of course they argue that the secret is non-commutativity, and that if you understand non-commutativity, it bypasses the whole particle wave duality in quantum physics, which relies on the decoherence as the collapse of the wave function as the quantum measurement problem, as Penrose calls it. And so Tim Ventura, he did not mention non-commutativity at all in his interview with Pavel. He talked about Basil J. Hiley and David Bohm, and then he also talked about the paranormal. He said, well, if this is true for consciousness, wouldn't this enable paranormal phenomenon? I don't even know if he used that word, but he was talking about like telepathy and I don't know, like telekinesis and stuff like that. And Pavel said, he hasn't researched that stuff himself, but that it definitely would allow for those kind of things. And then Jack Sarfatti had been interviewed by Tim Ventura, and so Jack Sarfatti started commenting on the video like, this isn't, he was trying to promote his own view, and I commented to Jack. I said, look, it's all based on non-commutativity, just like I was telling you. And then Jack replied to me, well, I don't see the mathematics behind this, because I gave him a quote from the paper that Basil Hiley wrote with Pavel. And because Jack was quoting from Pavel's earlier work that he wrote on his own in like 5 years ago. And so So then I explained to Jack, I said, well, because Jack was talking about configuration space and that his model does not use configuration space. And I said, neither does Hiley's model. Hiley uses Moyal algebra that focuses on the Jordan product as the anticommutator. And so then Jack finally said, I will check it out. And so this is his admission of the need to study non-commutativity after I've been pestering him about it for the past, I don't know, 6 months or something. and he's been pestering me back about how, it doesn't make any sense. But then Jack sent me this article about the photosynthesis being modeled as a exciton, which is an electron that's tied to its negative energy hole. So it acts as a boson, and this is the secret of the Bose-Einstein condensate. So then normally it would be you need close to zero temperature to achieve it, but and you get this macro quantum coherence with no friction. But these scientists are saying that that's precisely how photosynthesis works. Photosynthesis, they said it's similar to having a double layer of graphene. If you have a double layer of graphene, so it's disordered. It's a disordered structure, but the chlorophyll, the chromophores in the plants achieving photosynthesis are actually having a similar structure as the graphene. So you have these, what they're called Dirac cones. So it's a relativistic quantum non-locality of the half spin of the electrons overlapping with the future and the past. And so you get room temperature quantum coherence. And so if you look at the mathematics, sure enough, they say that this is due to the off-diagonal energy transfer as a quantum coherence. And when they say off-diagonal, that's a reference to the matrix mathematics, and that's what's the non-commutativity is due to that off-diagonal non-locality. And that's the same non-commutative secret. They don't use that word non-commutative. They just say it's disordered physically, and then mathematically it's the off-diagonals that normally they would be reduced to zero when you have the collapse of the wave function. The off-diagonals are reduced to zero. But in this case, they're not. And that's the same as in non-commutativity. You have non-locality in the off-diagonals of the matrices. And then the diagonal is the Jordan product as an anticommutator. So it's the average of the off-diagonals, and then that average becomes the trajectory of the particle. So this is the secret of the Nadon meditation. This is what Eddie Oceans figured out working at Stanford Linear Accelerator Center, that the secret of non-Western meditation is this room temperature quantum coherence due to non-commutativity. And so they might not use that word non-commutativity, but when they say it's disordered and it's the off diagonals, that's what they mean, that it's non-commutative. So Jack sent that to me, and he didn't even realize, that was the same secret of the photosynthesis. They've just done computer modeling, but now they're saying, well, since now we understand how photosynthesis works, we can then try to do biomimicry to create technology that has this room temperature, zero friction of energy transfer. And so we'll leave it at that. Thanks.